Hi guys. I've got this 3D printed model of the Queen Mary Wagon off Shapeways. I know I've done a lot of Corris wagons, but I like the height variant with this one. Unlike the TR vans and the Corris tattoo I made a few weeks ago that were made out of resin, these are the typical ultra high detail plastic printing that Shapeways offers. The owner of these models has done a good job at drawing them up. However, I feel like times have moved on from this printing format, and it really shows its faults. The print lines are really clear around the frames and the surface is rough. So I'm going to start by sanding the body panels as much as I can without removing the rivet detail. The print comes without a flaw, and I assume this is to minimise the cost. So I have whipped up one out of an off-cutter plastic card that I had in a drawer. A cotton bud is now glued onto aid painting. Before the main colour can go on, the model is primed with grey car primer. The colour of choice is Rail Match GWR Stock Grey. And this is an acrylic, so it can be thinned down with clean water to spray through an airbrush. The body can now be masked off, ready to paint the frames. Miniature paint earth brown is sprayed as a base. It could be hand painted, but by spraying it you get a clean edge. Again, I'm spraying quite thick to fill in the paint grooves. A mix of earth brown and light antique white are dry brushed on to age the wooden frames. Now there's any separate painting out the way, the masking can come off, revealing a crisp join between the body and frames. Nice. And looking at the surface on the frames, it's really poor. I really don't think you can call it ultra high detail. The metalwork can now be picked out in black. The interior needs to be painted black as well, so I've masked it off from the body and sprayed it with a matte black rattle can. I did attempt doing it by hand, but the finish was very messy and uneven, so spraying with a rattle can gave a nice neat finish. Whilst the model comes with some brake detail, it doesn't come with an actual brake lever, so I'll make one out of strip styrene. The size I chose was 0.10 by 0.20 thou, or 0.25 by 0.5 millimeters. This just needs to be bent to resemble a lever. After spraying it black, I glue it onto the model, making sure the bottom is sitting correctly. I'm modelling the wagon as it's running, so the lever is down. The model can now be weathered, and this is getting my usual treatment of a thick black wash. As the wagon will be carrying a coal load, the weathering will be darker than usual. The black will take priority, so I'm not going to bother putting rust or other aging on it. I did add a very small amount of highlight to the rivets, but this was very subtle. It's more of a habit than anything else. The wheel sets can now be popped in, and these are Bachmann N-gauge wagon wheels. The last job is to add the couplings. If you watch my recent video on couplings, you'll know that I've chosen hook and chains. So the holes in the model are drilled out ready. And the couplings are pushed in with a drop of super glue on the ends to set them. And look, a removable coal load, just to finish it off nicely. And that's that. Honestly, I'm not happy with this wagon, but it's the best I can get. really feel like Shapeways has had its day now, and if you factor in the cost of even just the postage, it really doesn't feel worth it. I do really like 3D printing, but I think resin is probably the way to go now. In the end, the weathering did hide most of the ugly rough parts on the print, so it'll look good enough on the layout. So thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the admittedly predictable release of weekly videos. Cheers.